Today in this lecture we will discuss about female gametophyte and fertilization process of angiosperms. Till now we have studied the development of male gametophyte which took place by microsporogenesis and then microgametogenesis. The male gametophyte is pollen grain. In the next e-learning session, we studied about the development of female gametophyte, that is embryo sac, after megasporogenesis and megagametogenesis. Now, before starting with fertilization, I would like to tell you about the embryo sac or female gametophyte. The organization of female gametophyte or embryo sac is almost similar in most of the cases. It has got three main structures in it. The first is egg apparatus, which is present towards the micropylar end. In the center, polar nuclei are present, while at the chelizal end, antipodals are present. In the normal polygonal type of embryo sac, we studied that the arrangement was 3 plus 2 plus 3 type. 3 cells were present on the micropylar side. These three constituted the egg apparatus. In egg apparatus, the central cell, which is flask shaped, is the egg cell, and on either side of it are present hooked like synergids. The polar nuclei, they vary in number. In polygonum, they were 2 in number, central in position, while the antipodals were on the chelizal side and they are 3 in number. This is the cytoplasm. So, in polygonum, the mature embryo sac was 8 nucleate, and since these 2 nuclei they come together, thereby making a single cell known as secondary nucleus, we call the mature embryo sac as 8 nucleate and 7 celled structure. Now, first of all, coming to the egg apparatus and its various parts. The cell is the egg cell, in which the cytoplasm is present on the lower side. It has got the female nucleus with which the sperm cell 1 is going to fuse and make zygote or embryo. These two cells are known as synergids. These are hooked structures and they have got cytoplasm on the upper side. Along with nucleus, these synergids have got glandular filiform apparatus, as I am drawing here. The function of which is to secrete some chemicals which attracts the pollen tube towards it. The synergids helps in bursting of the pollen tube. These cells, they normally degenerate before or after entry of pollen tubes. Sometimes they even extend from micropyle and make hostorial-like structure which helps in the entry of pollen tube. Now coming to these antipodals, which were 3 in case of Polygonum. These are present on the chalazal side. Their number may be many. For example, in Bambusa, they may be 300 or more. They do not have any specific function, and that's why they degenerate either before or after entry of pollen tube. In some plants, they may extend out of the embryo sac like this, making hostorial-like structures which help in the nutrition of the developing embryo. In some plants like Ranunculus, these antipodals, they become large, glandular and polyploid like this. They are highly active metabolically. Now coming to these polar nuclei, these are 2 in number. One is towards the macropyle and other is towards the chalazal side. The macropylar polar nuclei is normally larger in size than the chalazal one, but sometimes the reverse is also found. Like in Fritillaria, the chalazal polar nuclei is larger. They fuse to form a secondary nucleus, which then fuse with sperm cell second to make PEN. PEN means primary endosperm nucleus. So this is a brief detail about the structure of female gametophyte or embryo sac. Friends, till now in embryology, what we have seen? We have seen development of male gametophyte, that is pollen grain. We have seen development of female gametophyte along with its structure, that is embryo sac. Now coming to the third aspect of plant embryology, that is fertilization, the most important process where there is fusion of male and female gametophyte to make a new embryo. So how it takes place, we shall be discussing it in detail. As the pollen grains are released after the dehiscence of anther by various agencies like wind, like water, like insects, they reach from male part to the female part, that is stigma. The first part, the first process in fertilization is the enlargement of these pollen grains, which absorbs the moisture from the surface of stigma, and then these pollen grains, they germinate. The germination takes place in the form of a pollen tube which comes out through the germ pores present in the pollen wall. The pollen tube enters the style. Now this is the ovary and this is the ovule, and inside this ovule there is present female gametophyte or embryo sac, in which lies the female egg cell which participates in fertilization. Now this pollen tube is carrying two sperm cells, sperm cell 1, sperm cell 2, and the nucleus at the tip is the tube nucleus or the nucleus which is responsible for making the pollen tube. Normally, from one pollen, only one pollen tube is produced, which is known as monocyphonous condition. But in some plants, it has been observed that from a single pollen, a number of pollen tubes may arise. For example, in Althea, the number may reach to 10. In Malva, it may reach to 14. But whatsoever the case is, finally, only one pollen tube enters the style. As you can see here, the pollen tube is normally an unbranched structure, but sometimes it may branch like this. It is a rare occasion, but branching may take place, like in Amentiferi. The branching is also observed. The pollen tube on its apex has got the cytoplasm and these three nuclei, tube nucleus, sperm cell 1 and sperm cell 2, and these are followed by the callose plugs formed like this, which checks the backward movement of this male germ unit. The pollen tube may be formed in some minutes or it may take place in few days. The pollen tube enters into the style. Now, three types of styles can be found: open, half closed, or closed. In open style, epidermal cells are there and there is a lot of space. These cells, they act like glands and they help this pollen tube to move downwards towards the egg. In half closed and closed, parenchymal cells or patched cells are present. In half closed, space is more, and in closed, space is less, and pollen tube has to struggle like this for moving ahead. It has to sometimes dissolve these patched cells to move ahead, and finally it reaches through this style to the end of this stylar canal. What happens after this style? There are certain structures which are found in ovary which helps these pollen tubes to reach to this egg, and these structures are known as obturators. Now, how these obturators are formed? These obturators are special structures formed like this. Sometimes they are formed by the growth of the integumental cells, which is known as integumental obturators, or these may be formed from these stylar cells like this. These may be formed from the placental cells like this. The main function of these obturators is to help this growing pollen tube to reach this ovule finally. So now what happens after this, when the obturators, they have helped the pollen tube to reach to this ovule? Now this pollen tube has reached to this ovule. The pollen tube may enter through the integument, through the pore, or through the chalaza. This is known as chalosogamy, this is known as mesogamy, and this is known as porogamy. whatsoever be the entry point, the final entry point is always from this micropyle. That is, the pollen grain finally enters through the micropyle before reaching to this egg nucleus. After entering the ovule by micropyle, the further movement of the pollen tube may be between the wall of ambrow sac and synergid, or through synergid directly, or between the ambrow sac and the synergid. As it enters the ambrow sac, the degeneration of synergids takes place. Either one or both the synergids, they get destroyed. The cytoplasm doesn't mix with each other. The pollen tube, when it enters, it becomes bifurcated like this. Sperm cell 2, it moves towards the secondary nucleus, which is formed from two polar nuclei, and sperm cell 1, it remains near to the egg. Firstly, there is fusion of this nucleus with these nuclei, making it a triploid tissue like this. Here, two nuclei are maternal in origin and this one is parental. And here, the diploid zygote is formed. The endosperm formation is always prior to the embryo formation or zygote formation, because this cell has to divide and provide nutrition to this developing embryo. This PEN then develops into the endosperm tissue, which provides nutrition to the developing embryo. Zygote. And this is now endosperm. This is zygote, which finally develops into the embryo. There are certain unidentified structures that are found in the polar cytoplasm and synaptic cytoplasm. These are dark colored, known as X bodies, and it is supposed that out of these two X bodies, one is the vegetative nucleus, which was present ahead of these two sperm cells, and another one is nucleus of the degenerated sperm cell. These are two X bodies which are found, though the exact nature of them is not known. So, by now we have come to know about the development of male gametophyte, pollen grain, female gametophyte, embryo sac, and the process of fertilization by which these two, pollen grain and egg, they fuse with each other to make a new baby embryo along with its nutritive tissue, that is endosperm. Thank you.